Chapter 1 Concept of State Question Answers from Class 11th Subject Legal Studies. Exercises based on your understanding. Answer the following questions. Question 1. Write short notes on the following. First, Patriarchal Theory. Answer. The Patriarchal Theory suggests that the state evolved from the family where the eldest male, patriarch, held authority. As families expanded, they formed clans, tribes, and eventually states, supported by Sir Henry Maine. This theory highlights how the male head of the family governed all aspects of life, and this model later shaped political governance. Second, developmental states. Answer. A developmental state focuses on strong government intervention in economic growth and industrialization. The government plans and regulates the economy to meet national development goals. Chalmers Johnson described such a state as one that plays a key role in economic planning as seen in East Asian economies. Third, social contract theory. The social contract theory states that the state is formed by an agreement among individuals to escape a chaotic or inconvenient state of nature. Key thinkers include Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. People give up some freedoms in exchange for protection and order, creating a government to represent their will. Fourth, totalitarian states. A totalitarian state is one where the government has absolute control over all aspects of life, political, economic, and social. Individual rights are suppressed and dissent is not allowed. Examples include Nazi Germany under Hitler and fascist Italy under Mussolini. Fifth, Article 12 of the Constitution of India. Article 12 defines the term state for the purpose of Part 3, Fundamental Rights. It includes Government and Parliament of India, Government and Legislature of each state, all local and other authorities under government control. This definition helps determine who is responsible for upholding fundamental rights. Second, write one point of difference between the following. First, internal and external sovereignty. Internal sovereignty, supreme authority within a state's territory, binding citizens to its laws. External sovereignty, freedom from control by other states, international recognition of equal status. Second, Matriarchal and Patriarchal theory of state. Matriarchal theory, early societies led by mothers with property and lineage traced through women. Patriarchal theory, authority vested in fathers with succession and power passing through the male line. Third, minimal and collectivized state. Minimal state limits itself to protecting life, property, and contracts. Laissez-faire economics. Collectivized state, state owns or controls major resources and directs the entire economy for collective welfare. Fourth, social contract theory by Hobbes and Locke. Hobbes advocates an absolute sovereign. People cannot revolt once they cede rights. Locke favors limited government, retains people's right to revolt if the rulers breaches trust. Fifth, state and government. State, a sovereign entity comprising population, territory, government, and sovereignty. Government, the organ through which the state exercises its authority and administers policies. Question 3. Answer the following questions briefly. First, list down the various theories on the origin of state. Answer. Theories on the origin of state. Theory of kinship. Patriarchal theory. Matriarchal theory. Divine theory. Social contract theory. Second, briefly explain the elements of a state. Answer. Elements of a state. Population. Citizens who form the human component. Territory. Defined geographical area under jurisdiction. Government. Organized machinery to make and enforce laws. Sovereignty. Supreme internal authority and independence externally. Third, what are the various states on the basis of its role? Answer. Types of state by role. Minimal states, developmental states, social democratic states, collectivized states, totalitarian states, modern welfare states. Question 4. Answer the following questions in about 200 words. First, explain the comparative views on social contract theory. Answer. Hobbes, Locke and Rousseau had different ideas about the social contract. Hobbes believed that in the state of nature, life was full of fear and violence. People gave up all their rights to a sovereign to maintain order who had absolute power. Locke saw the state of nature as peaceful but inconvenient. People had natural rights, life, liberty, and property, and created two contracts, social and governmental. Government had limited power and could be changed if it broke trust. Rousseau saw the state of nature as happy. Inequality led people to form a contract based on the general will. People still held their rights and participated in direct democracy. Thus, Hobbes supported absolute monarchy, Locke believed in limited democracy, and Rousseau in direct democracy and popular sovereignty. Second, define state. Answer. A state is a sovereign political entity characterized by four essential elements: population, territory, government, and sovereignty. Population consists of individuals who collectively form a political community. Territory is a defined geographical area over which the state exercises jurisdiction. Government refers to the institutional mechanism, legislative, executive, and judicial, through which laws are made, policies formulated, and order maintained. Sovereignty embodies the state's supreme authority internally, compelling citizens to obey its laws, and externally guaranteeing freedom from foreign domination. These elements converge to create an organized body capable of enforcing rules, defending borders, and representing its people in the international arena. A state differs from mere social groups by possessing legitimate, coercive power and independence, making it the primary unit of political organization in the modern world. Third, explain the emergence of state. Answer. The state emerges when a society, an association of individuals bound by kinship, religion, language, or mutual needs, agrees to submit to a supreme authority and a common set of rules. In primitive times, humans lived in small family units governed by customs and personal bonds. As families grew into villages and villages into tribes, the need for uniform laws and a central authority became apparent to manage conflicts and coordinate collective tasks. Aristotle famously called humans political animals, emphasizing that organizing politically is intrinsic to achieving social unity and fulfilling communal needs. Societal institutions like family and religion govern intimate relations, but external affairs, defense, trade, and justice requires a broader structure, giving birth to the state. R.M. McIlver described how the state regulates external relationships while leaving private ties to smaller social bodies. Over time, this political organization evolved into formal governments with defined powers, codified laws, and recognized sovereignty. Thus, the state arises organically from society's growth, serving as the instrument through which individuals pursue security, order, and the common good. Question 5. Hobbes stated, "Man is born free everywhere he is in chains." In light of this statement, in which type of state would a man be chained the most and why? Give an example of such a state. If given a choice of residence, in which type of state would you like to reside? Give reasons. Answer. The quote, "Man is born free everywhere he is in chains," means that although people are born with natural freedom, society and governance place restrictions on them. A person would feel most chained in a totalitarian state where the government has complete control over all aspects of life and citizens have no personal freedoms. For example, Nazi Germany under Hitler. If given a choice, I would prefer to live in a modern welfare state like India, where the government ensures rights, education, health, and social justice, but also allows freedom, democracy, and individual participation. Question 6. Patria, a locatable place on the world map having a considerable territory under its control, consisted of a population of 1 million people. It was ruled by Colonel George. However, the place did not gain any international political recognition as one of the major elements was missing. Identify and explain all the elements of state. Answer. The four elements of a state are population. Patria has 1 million people. Territory. It has a defined geographical area. Government. It is ruled by Colonel George. Sovereignty. Missing in Patria as it is not internationally recognized. Hence, external sovereignty is missing, which is essential for a place to be recognized as a state under international law. Question 7. How has the concept of state been defined in the Constitution of India? Why do you think it has been included in Part 3 of the Constitution? Answer. Article 12 of the Constitution defines the term state for Part 3, fundamental rights. It includes union and state governments, parliament and state legislatures, local and other authorities under Indian control. It is included in Part 3 to identify who is responsible for protecting citizens' rights. It ensures that government actions can be challenged if they violate fundamental rights. Question 8. How would you differentiate between India as a state and the various states of India? Answer. India as a state, a sovereign, independent nation with a unified foreign policy, defense, and central authority under the Constitution. States of India, subnational units, example Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, with limited autonomy in subjects delegated by the Constitution. They lack external sovereignty and cannot conduct independent foreign relations or defense. Question 9. Imagine yourself living in a state of nature. Which aspects of your life would you want to give up and what would you expect in return? What kind of social contract would you enter into and with whom? Answer. If I lived in the state of nature, I would give up personal safety risks, fear of theft or violence, lack of organized law. In return, I would expect security, law and justice, rights protection. I would enter into a social contract with others and form a government that is based on common agreement. I would prefer a government like Locke's model, where the ruler is accountable and citizens have the right to revolt if power is misused. So friends, we have completed all the question answers from chapter 1, concept of state. We have already studied the short notes and summary of this chapter. You can find the link in the description and on the screen. If you like the video, kindly like it and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel. We will meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.